Girl, I had me a time trying to find this movie. There are a few reasons for this. One, this movie in Germany is censored, which I didn't want. And two, it's on the index. So what is this index? Well, in Germany, unlike countries that respect art and freedom of speech, movies can be found to be harmful to children and then censored, indexed, or, like this movie, both. Movies on the index can no longer be advertised or even displayed in a shop that is accessible to minors. Since every shop, aside from sex shops, is accessible to minors, that makes these films pretty hard to find. That's right, even showing the box art in a place that is accessible to children is illegal. Hey, Kinder, der Film hier ist ziemlich cool. Ich kann ihn empfehlen. In fact, it's even a matter of dispute whether or not reviewing a film like this, discussing a film like this, or even including a film like this on a ranking list counts as advertising and is therefore illegal. That's right, this review is now potentially illegal in Germany. These restrictions that Germany has are patently absurd for a few reasons. One, there's no evidence that watching a bloody movie is actually harmful to children, but that doesn't even matter because two, you have to be 18 to buy these movies anyway, so whether or not they're harmful to children is irrelevant. Oh, but what if the parents aren't home and the kids put the movie in? Yeah, so what? What will happen? They might get a nightmare, they might get an erection, who cares? I don't see how nightmares or erections are good reasons to censor freedom of speech. And moving further into the absurd, Germany doesn't apply the standard to anything else, just speech. You can advertise and sell and display alcohol here, and alcohol is actually dangerous. Now, I'm not a child psychiatrist or a pediatrician, but it seems to me, layman that I am, that a substance that can cause death is actually more dangerous than media that can cause nightmares and erections. But again, I'm not a child psychiatrist or pediatrician. So what do I say to Germany, my home of the past 20 years or so? Well, in times like this, I think it's important to quote someone Germans actually respect. So, in the immortal words of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, leck mich am Arsch. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at Werewolf in a Women's Prison from 2006. This is a gloriously trashy movie in this neo-grindhouse style. It's full of blood and boobs and bloody boobs, and there's very little of it I can show you here on YouTube. But I'll try my best. We open on a kissing couple camping. That's our main gal, Sarah, played by the lovely Victoria De Mare. There are animal sounds coming from outside, which interrupt the possibility of animal sounds coming from inside. The boyfriend Jack steps out to investigate. He doesn't fare too well, but Sarah manages to fight off the beast thanks to the silver flakes in the vodka and fire. She wakes up in prison, a women's prison. Mistress Rita informs her that it is a prison for the criminally insane. Sarah is insane, apparently because she killed her boyfriend. Rita does not explain why a women's prison has a mistress in S&M garb pretending to be a nurse, but let's just accept that part and be thankful. She also doesn't explain why there was no trial, but trials are pretty boring to watch in movies, so let's just accept that part too and be thankful. The warden has plans to make a lot of money off of Sarah by having her model for the prison's website, PrisonGirlsGoneWild.com. And no, you can't see any of this photo shoot here on YouTube.
Man, I just work here.
But of course, we don't have to stay here. You can now support the channel on Patreon and get access to spicy versions of my reviews. Link is in the description. After a nightmare, Sarah wakes up and notices that her wound has healed, and she is visited by her dead boyfriend Jack. If you've seen An American Werewolf in London, this will be familiar ground. And if you've seen An American Werewolf in London, you'll know why the boyfriend's name is Jack. Sarah doesn't believe Jack, of course, but the next morning she discovers she has the strength to lift a mannequin above her head. So something is definitely going on. As punishment for this prison fight, Sarah and another inmate are stripped and chained up out in the desert. But how will they survive out there without water?
What are you doing?
Your sweat. It's like water. It might be the only way for us to survive.
My heart beats for lines like that. Sarah and friend are brought back into the prison, and as night falls, the inmates are getting frisky. The staff are meanwhile serving full glasses of grape soda, and Sarah is coming out of her skin. So now, 40 minutes into the movie, we get what the title promised: a werewolf in a women's prison. Werewolf Sarah runs amok in the prison for a while, and it is super violent and bloody. Body parts are ripped off, people are ripped in half, a head is bitten off. Sure, it's low-budget movie violence, but they really went all out. It's pretty wild. The warden, ever the opportunist, tranks Werewolf Sarah and chains her up. He's going to throw a party. It'll be a bit like the end of King Kong, where people pay to come and see the beast. But since this is this kind of movie, this party will also have strippers.
Now this is my kind of movie.
And that's more than enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Well, this movie delivers in pretty much every way you would want it to. It has most of the elements people want out of a women in prison film: smoking hot inmates, many of whom are smoking hot in that pendulous Russ Meyer kind of way. We've got lesbian scenes, bondage, prison brawls, skimpy outfits. It ticks most of the women in prison boxes pretty well. It also delivers pretty well in the werewolf department. Sure, the rubber suit is obviously a rubber suit, but it still looks pretty cool. There's a pretty decent transformation scene. I mean, don't go in expecting an American Werewolf in London. This is a low-budget movie after all, but still, given that budget, pretty cool. Further, that wolf is vicious. The kills here are plentiful and super bloody. And there are a lot of them in the movie. They are ridiculously over the top. It's a lot of fun. But the film's not perfect. Like an inmate with a boo-boo next to her boo-boos, this film has some shortcomings. Well, I actually don't have too many problems with this movie. It knows exactly what it wants to be, and it achieves what it wants to be pretty well. I will say there's a fine line between homage and ripoff, and this movie crosses that line a bit with the Jack character. But maybe I'm being too picky. One thing I'm not being picky about is the use of CGI. There's plenty of practical blood and gore in this movie, but in a few scenes they add CG blood and it looks terrible. And there was no reason for it. They obviously had plenty of real fake blood. I can kind of forgive the CGI glowy eyes of the werewolf. I mean, it looks a little bit stupid, but whatever. But come on, practical fake blood is easy. Make more and throw it at people. And finally, and maybe this will be another kind of little nitpicky complaint, this is a women in prison film, but it does not have a shower scene.
Bitch, are you for real?
How can you have a women in prison film without a shower scene? I mean, there is a sponge bath scene, and that almost counts, but almost ain't good enough. But overall, this is a super fun movie. It's an effective amalgam of both a women in prison film and a werewolf film, and it ticks the boxes that we expect from both of those kinds of films really well in that wild neo-grindhouse style. Highly recommended, especially if you're a German child.